What's up, guys? So for today's video I wanted to talk about playing secondaries in Smash, or more specifically why for most players playing a secondary is a waste of time. This doesn't really apply to players who are significantly above the average level of competitive player. Obviously it's like a very vague way to describe it. You know, if you're a PGR player, best player in your state, you know, generally just a player that you know you're better than average players and you know your fundies. And this doesn't really apply to you. This is for more the average level players, right, who's still learning the game. And playing a secondary is just not worth it. Now, why do people play secondaries in the first place, right? A few reasons. They have difficult matchups they want to cover. They have certain matchups in their region, whether it's the online region, offline region, whatever. That's just, they run into a lot. They don't like dealing with their main, or they just want like an easier time in general because it's so common. Or for fun. Now, if you're playing a secondary just for fun, not particularly seriously, this also doesn't really apply to you. You know, everyone needs to have some fun. This is people trying to seriously pick up another character. So, with that said, what is a secondary, right? Obviously, you can say, oh, it's a secondary, it's not your main. But more specifically, this is kind of a character you commit to saying is going to be worse than your main, and it's going to be used for very specific things, you know, certain matchups, players, whatever. And, yeah, so when you play secondary, you're kind of saying this character will not be my default pick, is for certain situations. And why is this bad? Now, I'm assuming you're not like above the average level of competitive player, is when you're trying to learn a secondary, a lot of your times, you're not really forcing yourself to improve, to like overcome challenges, right? Like, learning how to deal with the sortie, for example, or projectile characters, all this stuff is an important part of progressing as a player. And obviously some characters have it easier than other ones, but if you just kind of go, I can't deal with this character or this matchup, let me switch to something that's supposed to be better against it, you're not really going to learn how to deal with it. You just gotta learn, alright, this is how I cheese it out pretty much. And oftentimes, kind of following up at this point, a lot of times the reason I have trouble with the matchup is not even because of the matchup necessarily, because matchups don't apply as much until you're a higher level player, to be honest. It's just your lack of skill. Like, alright, you can play Palutena versus heavyweight characters, but do you know why you're beating the heavyweight characters? No, you're just going Palutena and doing neutral air and back air and forward air. So, like, that's not going to help you in the long run if you want to get good. It's going to give you short-term results, sure. But then, you know what happens? You're potentially susceptible to people doing the same thing to you, right? Someone going a secondary to beat you and cheesing you out with, like, a hard matchup or whatever. And it's just a cycle of both players aren't relearning and they're just kind of picking characters without improving at the game. And the other thing is when you're fighting someone who mains a character, right, and knows their matchups, you know, a good player is going to know how to deal with their bad matchups correctly. And a lot of people who play secondaries kind of have a one-trick playstyle with them, right? Because they're not, like, well-developed because of secondaries. And as a result, you're very susceptible to people who know how to deal with the one-trick, just beating it. And as a result, something I have seen a lot is people do just as good, if not better, with their mains in those matchups meant for secondaries because of this, right? I see this all the time where someone's like, I'm going to play, you know, Pac-Man for this matchup, Palutena for like the Pac-Man matchup, right? Because they don't want to do it with, I don't know, DK. And then they play a real Pac-Man who's pretty solid at the game, knows his matchups, does well okay, and then like, maybe they can best 5. Does okay, game 1, gets body game 2, does amazing game 3 and 4 with like their DK, and could win the set if they start DK. Because they're just more well practiced with that main, right? So it ends up being, for a lot of these people, not even useful from what I've seen. And then another issue with playing a secondary, or I guess another set of issues, is that for practice it's just inefficient, to be honest. Like, if you know what you can improve on with your main, it's significantly more efficient to work on improving things, whether it's some things like space and combos, or more advanced things like knowing certain setups and mind games. The point is, if you know something you can clearly work on with the character you're maining, work on that. Getting better with the character and overall fundies will make all your characters better, right? That's just generally how it works. And as a result, your goal should be to make one character as good as it can be, instead of 2 or 3 characters, like, pretty good. And also, if you are stuck in the learning phase of 2 more characters, it is so easy, I mean, so easy, to kind of cross the wires between those multiple characters. And, like, kind of mix and match different strategies and combos and whatever, and just basically confuse yourself. So, you know, when you're still learning the game and you're like, I'm maining Wolf, but I'm also a secondary Palutena, and then trying to learn both at once, you're just gonna, like, mix up some things very easily. And it's gonna be very awkward. And another thing that can happen is, you know, people have limited time to play. If you're not spending your time efficiently, if you don't have time to practice both characters, they're both gonna lag behind. Or if you're practicing so much because you're playing two characters, you might just burn out, which can always be a problem for improving, because if you're playing with burnt out, your improvement is generally just not going to be as a fast rate as it could be. And I guess the last one to make, and shout out to Lefton for this actually, he gave me this advice at Summit 1, was, I remember I was playing a lot of different characters, because I started doing maining Smash Ultimate, / try maining at some point, between Paolo, Rosa, Olimar. And I could just, because I had the super fun these down, right? For someone goes to Buzz, you just said don't play multiple characters. But, something I'll do a lot is I'll play like a best 5 with a character, switch characters, best 5 switch characters. And Left had a good point in that it's a bad practice habit for lots of reasons. Like, kind of reasons I just talked about, right? But overall, like, when you're constantly swapping characters, you're never giving yourself time to learn. And so, playing multiple characters in friendlies, constantly swapping is a pretty bad habit. I generally tell people that if they want to play multiple characters, they should play each character for hour-long sessions, right? An hour of that character, if you really want to switch characters, then you can switch after the hour. Hour of the next character, you want to switch characters the first one, give it an hour. And yeah, that's all I really have to say today. For this video, I didn't want to keep it too long. So, too long, didn't listen, skip to the last 5 minutes. Just focus on your main. Playing a secondary is not worth it for most people. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed this video, hope it was helpful. Peace out.